Hey guys, welcome back to Medical Coding with Blue. Today's episode is going to be all about what to expect on your first job as a medical coder. Now, I've done a video about this before, but I thought I would just sort of talk about it again. I've been getting lots of questions. There's lots of brand new medical coders. I'm so excited in this time of this pandemic. It is so nice to see and hear from people who are just graduated and just gotten their credential and they are out looking for a job. Now, what we're all going through right now is going to present another challenge, okay? It's not that you are not getting any calls back. It's that a lot of times right now, the hiring process is sort of on a freeze because they don't want to put people at unnecessary increased risk. Okay, so but it shouldn't deter you from still applying everywhere. And if you've seen some of my latest videos where I talk about like the entry level, explaining the entry level employment listings for medical coders, this is a really good other video to watch, and I will probably put it at the end. It's really good because it talks about like, what does this different language mean in the ads? Because some things you'll read on these ads, like, what the heck are they trying to say? So that's my little plug for the previous videos I've done on it. But it is a lot, and especially right now, it's just a patience game, honestly. Because once all of this dies down and everything goes relatively back to normal, I mean, how can we get normal after this, right? But as much as we can get back to normal, this is probably going to be a time when they're going to hire a lot of people, okay? After all of this is all said and done, because of course the influx of all of these records that are going to have to be coded, okay? Think about that, you know? That is going to be, and not just for COVID, it's going to be for other things as well. So just keep that in mind when you are applying, okay? So make sure that you keep applying and make sure that you keep putting your name out there in a safe manner. Of course, everything we can always do online, so that's always good. And but don't let it deter you or make you feel like they're not calling you. It's just because everything is shut down at this point. Even me at my hospital, we are really down to very bare minimum patients. We are gearing up and we are just waiting. Okay, so we are preparing ourselves at the hospital. I am still technically supposed to be working at the hospital. We are still in the process of getting at-home access. I don't currently have it right now. None of my coworkers have it. We are all patiently waiting as much as we can be. I am choosing to be at home at this point because, like I said, it's just too dangerous for me to be at the hospital right now. So I am at home as much as I possibly can, but let's go ahead and get started with the episode, and that way I can just go ahead and tell you all about what to expect when you're a brand new coder, okay? But that was one thing I wanted to touch on before I got into it, because I have been getting quite a few emails from people that are brand new to the field and wondering if, you know, this whole situation with the pandemic is another cause of them perhaps not hearing back, and there's a good chance that it is. So everybody wants everybody to be safe, especially right now, okay? But some things that you should expect when you are a brand new medical coder in a brand new job. Somebody had asked if they're going to expect you to know everything right away as soon as you start. Okay, here's the thing. This is what they're going to want. Obviously, they're going to know that you are brand new, okay? This is your first job. They are going to know this when you are hired, okay? If they've interviewed you, if you've passed your assessment test, and you know they decide to go ahead and hire you and give you a try and things like that, obviously they know the risk of hiring somebody that's brand new, okay? They know, okay? But they do expect you to know how to code, the fundamentals of how to code. Now, there's a difference between being advanced in coding and being a beginner in coding. Obviously, we all started out as beginners, okay? We all should know how to look up a procedure, how to look up a diagnosis, how to find the most specific diagnosis that we can find, okay? If you've had a chance to go through any of my Quiz Friday episodes, and I will be putting more in the playlist. I just haven't had a chance to do it. Again, with all the craziness, it's just sort of like, but I do have 9 episodes in there. But if you take the time to go through my videos, you can find more Quiz Friday. I mean, it's literally Quiz Friday, Answer Monday. But I will be organizing them more now that I have more time, obviously, to be with you guys. I'll be able to do that. But going back to what I was saying, it's important to know how to look up diagnosis codes, how to look up procedure codes, how to read a document, okay? How to look and see what you're going through. Now that I have more time, I will probably be writing out full scenarios myself, so that way we can go over them, okay? It's something I hadn't thought of before, which is I could always write it and then put it in the description box and then do on the whiteboard. Yeah, I didn't think about that before. Oops. Again, we'll be getting to it. But that's what they're going to expect you to know. They're going to expect you to know the basics of how, okay? Once you start getting more used to it and once you start learning more, then of course you're going to be more advanced and things are going to get better over time. But the key is, when you're just starting, is to have patience with yourself. Take the initiative to learn where to find your resources. Okay, look and see where you can find resources, good, reputable websites. Okay, CMS is a very, very good website to get information from, cms.gov. Go through all of those different websites. And if you're using an encoder, especially 3M, they have like a little stack of books for reference. And then you can click on that and that's your reference. Don't go running to your supervisor or your lead every time you have a question, okay? Learn to look up things by yourself. That is very, very important. We as medical coders, it is one of the hallmarks, okay, of what we do, is to be able to work independently. And you have to be able to take the initiative and learn how to look things up on your own and how to figure things out by yourself. Because if you're constantly running back and forth and asking questions, yes, you can ask questions. If you are absolutely lost and you don't know how to find an answer for something, then of course, go to your senior leader and find out, whether it's the lead or your supervisor or whatever. Find out through them and ask them, look, I've done my research. I've looked up this, and this, and I found this code, but this doesn't make sense to me. Okay. You have to be able to know how to do that part, okay, on your own, and not to get overwhelmed. You have to be very patient with yourself. We all went through this. A good coder who is worth their weight in salt will know this going right in. I mean, they will do these things. They will make sure that they understand. They will make sure that they're reading and researching and doing all of this stuff beforehand, okay? That is very, very important. If you are being assigned to a particular specialty or a particular clinic or a particular setting, you need to make sure that you're doing all of the research that you can. And it may include time that you're not at work, okay? If you are, let's just say you're assigned to the cardiac clinic, okay? They say, okay, we're going to put you in cardiac. Okay. Usually, most places, they will have like a book, like a guidelines for that particular clinic. If they have anything special that they have, any special things that they have to do, any special codes they have to pick up, they usually put it in a book. If they don't, then you need to go to your diagnosis book and your procedure book and look in the areas that have like cardiac diagnoses, and the circulatory system is where you're going to look in the diagnosis book. You're going to look there and you're going to start reading, and then you're going to go through those diagnosis sections. If you are using an Optum 360 coding book, this is very good because it's going to give you a lot of notes. It's going to give you a lot of additional references and things like that you can use when you're learning. Okay, it's very important to use very good tools, okay? This is not an ad for Optum 360, although it can be. Optum 360, call me. Um, this book is very, very useful. If you go to optum360.com, and again, this is not an ad, they have a lot of supplemental books that you can buy. Lots of times they have sales on these books. And if you're using like the previous year as a reference book, like like we're in 2020, right? And you decide to order the circulatory book, the coding companion for the circulatory system, the 2019 version. It's a reference book. It's going to give you a lot of information. Yes, sometimes the codes are going to be updated, but for the most part, a lot of the codes are still going to be there, and it's still going to be able to be a good resource to help you. You really have to know how to find those resources. Spend time watching some of my videos where I'm talking about references and resources and books. You can actually type in books or recommended links and things like that, and it will pop up, because trust me, if you're thinking it, somebody's already asked me, and I've done plenty of videos. I enjoy sharing what I know about medical coding. A lot of times when I do share some of the things that I know with people that are brand new to the field, or even veterans, they're like, wow, I didn't know this. How did you know this? I spend my time doing a lot of research. I love to read. Reading is one of the things that I really enjoy doing. And investing time into my knowledge of what I know about medical coding makes me more confident. And you will get that confidence as time goes on, especially when you're working in your first job. You're going to take a lot of hits in your first job. And hits meaning when you get audited, you may do really well or you may do really bad. It just depends. And if you do bad on an audit and the auditor is showing you how they're coming up with their diagnosis, and they're saying that they are correct and that the codes that maybe you selected were not correct, listen to the auditor. Do not get defensive, okay? Unless you have your reference that can show that you are correct, talk it through with the auditor, talk it through with whoever's doing the auditing, and that way you can say, this is how I came up with this. Because the auditors are not always correct either, okay? But you have to make sure that you're showing them the respect of, okay, they've been an auditor before, so they should know. And if they're showing you how, then you can say, okay. But don't just blindly be like, oh, okay, whatever you say. Because like I said, sometimes the auditors can be wrong as well. So you have to make sure that you're paying attention, okay? And if they, hopefully you have a really good one, okay? I'm just saying, I've had... I've had some very interesting auditors in my time, and to say that they are always correct would be incorrect, okay? You really do have to make sure that you can back up yourself with whatever you select, okay? That's something you can expect. Something else is with your new coworkers, okay? If you are new and shiny, okay, meaning you're a brand new coder, and of course, if you're really smart, and you may get, a little bit of pushback from some of the veteran coders that are there, or they may welcome you. I mean, it just depends. Women do dominate this field, okay? Women can be a little funny sometimes, okay? I'm just being honest. Let's be honest, okay? I'm being real here, 100% real, okay? This is not to discourage you or scare you or anything. Please don't be scared, okay? But women tend to be, a little bit more where they'll keep an eye on you. They'll watch you and see. But if you are real and you're honest and you are really applying yourself, the goal is that you are not there for your coworkers. You're there for your provider. That's the ultimate goal. Is it good to be friends with your coworkers? Of course. It is. It is awesome to be friends with your coworkers. But your first priority, and this is what you got to make sure that you get mentally right, okay? Your first priority is your provider. Do you know why he or she is your first priority? Because they're the ones that's doing the work. You Your function is to make sure that they're getting properly paid for all the work that they're doing. Also, you have to take care of the patient, okay? Because if you are not coding correctly, and say, for instance, you're over coding, that poor patient has to be the one to suffer the consequences because you didn't code it correctly. So that you have to keep in mind. That's a good balance right there. So it's really them first, then all of the other stuff, okay? And you've got to make sure that you keep that in line. And if you say, well, Blue, I just want to make friends and things like that. Yes, we all want to make friends with our coworkers. We're with our coworkers more than we are with our own families. Okay, those of us who have families. I like I said, it's just me. But we spend a lot of time at work, and because of that, we have to get along. Okay, just make sure that you have your priorities correct. Okay, and if you are going in there with a good attitude, and if you reach out when it's appropriate for you to reach out, and not constantly having to ask questions, and making sure that you can learn on your own, that shows that you're a good employee, you're a good team player and things like that. And that's what you want. Your priority should be working with your provider. Your priority should be the welfare of this patient's record, okay? Making sure everything is there, everything is clear when it's documented. And I talk about this a lot in my videos, is making sure that you have a good relationship with your provider. And that goes for if you are a veteran coder or a brand new coder. If you start those good habits now, that's going to carry you a long way. Because trust me, I spent a good amount of my years as a medical coder never doing that. I mean, I did talk to my providers, but it wasn't where I was trying to build relationships. I build relationships now with them. I know the difference now. It's not just about, well, I'm just going to ask them a question. I'm just going to ask them this and that's it. And we're going to close the query. No, it is, I'm learning about them. They're talking to me and we're digging deep and we're finding out where are these deficiencies in their documentation. While it may sound like a lot, eventually, as you get in the field and as you get in your clinics, digging deeper and deeper, you will understand what this means. This does make sense. After a while, it will make sense. And like I said, I am very detailed. What I do is a lot of times unconventional, but the actions that I do pay dividends, in that the provider is getting more credit, and more credit meaning appropriate level of credit, versus if they had somebody who just didn't care and they were just there to collect a check. The difference between somebody that is just there to collect a check and go home is huge versus somebody who is actually going to make sure that everybody is being treated equally and fairly, from the provider in the facility, the revenue that comes into the facility. If you're paying attention, then it's going to be fair across the board. So, those are just some of the things that you can expect. But that is really, really key, is knowing how to find your resources and look up things on your own. If somebody's offering you help, sure, go ahead and take it. Never turn down help. But if they are, if they're helping you and you're not writing stuff down, that's a no-no. You have to start writing your notes. As soon as they say, well, it's this, this, and this, make sure that you're writing it down, because that is showing respect to the person that is helping you. Okay, I've had so many people come and ask me for help, never taking notes, and then they come right back to me, oh, Blue, I forgot. Well, really? Now you're wasting my time, because I helped you, you didn't write notes, and now you're back to take more of my time. Now, I don't mind giving new coders or even veteran coders my time. I really don't, because I believe that if I help you, it's going to make things a lot better for you. And then that way it'll be easier, and it's more beneficial to the provider, the patient, the facility. Okay. I believe in that. And that doesn't bother me. What I don't like, or what I find is really bad, is when people don't reciprocate with the respect of, I'm going to take notes. so that way I can understand what you're saying. If something is not clear and you've taken notes and you come back to me and you say, hey, I know you said this and I took the notes and I get it, but I don't understand. Then I can say, okay, let me explain it in another way. Okay. So always keep that in mind. Make sure that you're doing that. Okay. It's really huge. It's a tiny detail thing, but trust me, it means all the difference in the world. Okay. So those are just some of the things that you can expect when you are starting out as a new medical coder in a brand new job. Don't get overwhelmed, whatever you do. Have patience with yourself. And again, it is all about respect, and you're there to work. Put your phone away. Don't have your phone out when you're working, okay? That drives me crazy when I see that. Always make sure that you are professional. Professional. And I don't care if everybody else is wearing jeans, okay? If they say, oh yeah, you can wear whatever you want, and then you see your other coworkers wearing jeans, you don't have to wear jeans too. You can wear slacks, you can be business, you can be professional. Because trust me, if I dressed like everybody else, I would not be dressed up all the time like I am, okay? Now I dress up, there's a difference between how I get treated because I dress up and I make that effort. That gives me immediate respect a lot of times with these providers, and that's what you want out of the gate as well. You want that respect. So in order to do that, you got to be best foot forward, best face forward, okay? You need to make sure that you are dressed up. You need to be as professional as possible. Curb the foul language. Don't use foul language if you can absolutely help it. I know there's sometimes that it can just slip out. Because trust me, when you get in those moments, you're like, and I won't cuss, but I'm just saying, so you just have to kind of watch your language, always be respectful. Always refer to your providers as doctor or sir or ma'am, whatever, So, but yes, just some of the things that you can expect. It's exciting. It is amazing. I love being a medical coder, but this is a really good field. Is it hard? Absolutely. Is it worth it? Oh yeah. I have a job that I love, and when I'm normally at work, I can't wait to get to work. I love my coworkers. I enjoy my work. I like the fact that I can what I do makes an impact on so many, and I don't always get told. That, but I know it's there, So. And yeah, I mean, but that's it. So I will go ahead and wrap this one up. Sorry there was no Q&A Tuesday. I should have apologized about that before. Normally I have Q&A Tuesday, but this week is something else. Okay, and it's only Wednesday. Anyway, so if this video helped you, I hope you'll share it. Share it with your coder friends. Share it with people who are interested in the medical coding field. If you are a medical coder and medical coding student, somebody curious about the fascinating world of medical coding, a provider or a nurse, I invite you to like and subscribe and follow me on my journey in medical coding. I will see y'all next time. Bye.